Ghoul'd Evening. Now, who doesn't love a good spooky story? Now, while you might like it when horror is left up to the mind's eye in your literary works, what would you say if that terrifying tale was accompanied by visceral visual? Enter Junji Ito, a master mangaka of menace and malaise, whose works have plagued the minds of his readers since the 1980s. Now, while I do plan to do videos on his more popular petrifying stories, as I do find them dreadfully delightful, today we're going to take a look at some of his perhaps lesser-known one-shots. But just one second, you didn't expect me to just tell you about these more obscure tales and give you something sinister to read in the late hours, did you? Oh, no. We're going to be looking into the metaphors and critiques on society that Mr. Ito has managed to pack in with all of that body horror and what I take from these particular messages. Oh, the endless debate in the zombie movie fandom of walkers versus runners. More than once I've run afoul of this abominable argument. We drop into the scene of this ongoing dreadful discourse between two characters of this story, Yumi and Shinichi. Shinichi makes the great mistake of insulting the late and great Romero. May the gaming gods take him into their innumerable arms, causing Yumi to storm out of the apartment. And cue her suddenly rushing back in with a bleeding arm. Uh-oh. Looks like these two horror enthusiasts have wound up right in the middle of a scenario many have dreamed of. Right? I mean, which horror fan in their right mind wouldn't be prepared for a zombie outbreak with ramen? Okay, well, this isn't looking good. Even though Shinichi's choice in survival food is questionable at best, it seems that at least him and Yumi agree that she needs to be restrained, at least until they see if she turns, which of course she does. But you see, there's the kicker. Yumi doesn't just turn, she turns into the slowest shambler you've ever seen. When Shinichi cries himself to sleep, he wakes up to this and discovers, with his recording and several other days of experience, that over the course of the night, that Yumi, in her undead state, can only move at a ridiculously slow pace. But see, here comes the fun part. Yes, this might be a side story written by Junji for Kengo Hanazawa's I Am a Hero. Speaking of which, excellent manga. Over 200 chapters of thrills and chills for you to dive into. I actually did a short on it, which I would highly suggest for anyone looking for something to read. But back on topic, even writing a side story, Junji's managed to pack a couple of perceived messages in this one-shot. Shinichi and Yumi's die-hard, see what I did there? Nature for their preferred genres in the zombie fandom, and the conflict that arises from it. A nice reference to the actual fandom. But it doesn't just stop there. Even in death, they hold so hard onto their beliefs, and in such dedication that they come to embody their stances to the extreme. It seems like a bit of social commentary on just how stubbornly people can hold on to their conviction. In this case, even after their dying breath. Another critique that Junji puts out there, though. Have you ever heard of the "I would definitely survive a zombie apocalypse" line? Well, I know I have. The sad fact of the matter is that, well, to be frank, many of us wouldn't. We like to think of ourselves as the main characters in the own stories of our lives, shining examples of survivalists prepared for any situation and indulge in those heroic fantasies. And you know, that's the beauty of Shinichi's character. He is the main character. He's blessed with the ability to have plot armor and all the perfection that fiction has to offer. But Junji writes him as just another person who's overestimated himself and in the end befalls a fate probably not that different from your own or mine if put in that same sinister situation. Here we go. Our next story by our menacing mangaka friend. Here we have a story that might, hit home for a lot of folks. Living in an age where we're surrounded by models photoshopped to perfection, the insecurities of individuals can run deep. The fear of being labeled as physically imperfect can be mentally all-consuming. In his one-shot, The Rib Woman, that actually is the name of the game. You see, Yuki is a young woman that's less than satisfied with her figure. So much so that she seeks out surgery to correct, quote-unquote, her perceived physical inadequacies. After which, she encounters her brother's girlfriend, Ruriko, acting strangely to a weird and haunting tune that seems to come from all around. You see, this goes on to lead to an unfortunate series of strange and disturbing events, culminating in Ruriko's untimely and grisly demise, found with all of her rib bones missing. But as Yuki's brother mourns, she proceeds with her cosmetic correction and the surgery to remove several ribs to slim down her waistline. The surgeon revealing as she drifts off under the anesthesia that Ruriko before her had undergone the same procedure. Before that, another woman that continued to have the procedure done by the, at the time, unexperienced doctor who caved under pressure and is now the reason why he psychologically screens all of his surgical candidates. Oh boy, if that isn't something that I don't want to hear right before going under the knife, then I don't know what is. After a successful operation, however, and recovery, Yuki begins to hear that strange and haunting tune, same as Ruriko, once again. Eventually, she's lured out into the woods, where she narrowly avoids meeting Ruriko's fate at the hands of the rib-obsessed former patient of the doctor, and even he himself. But even then, with the intervention of Yumi's brother in a timely manner, the Rib Woman escapes, and the strange music of bones and wires still plagues Yumi. Oh boy, does Junji ever know how to pack the messages in with those scares and scarring visuals. It is quite the message, though. Society's often obsessive and self-destructive pursuit of beauty is quite the scary thing in and of itself. Just look at some botched surgeries is enough to turn the stomach and stand alongside some of the best scenes of body horror that cinema has to offer. But you see, the nature of this destructive pursuit isn't some new nightmare that's only manifested in modern times. Oh no, this is a horror that's been haunting the human race for ages. From ancient Greeks and Romans bathing in crocodile dung, to foot binding in China that originated in the 10th century and persisted all the way to the 20th, and even the wearing of corsets, which started some 500 years ago. But as Junji emphasizes in the rib woman character, it's sometimes not about just a person altering their own body. Oh no. It can get much, much darker. What about taking from another to enhance oneself? Sure, the rib woman is an extreme and fictional example, but we only need flip through the pages of history to find historical actual examples of those who believed exsanguination or even darker hungers could result in the enhancement of their physical form. Humanity is quite the scary thing indeed. There are some other stories written by Junji that are positively packed to the putrid brim with social commentary and critique that I could make video after video on them. Actually, you know, that's an idea. If you have a favorite Junji Ito story, tell me what it is in the comments below. I'll look over them and probably do more videos just like this as I sit down and reread his works in the late hours of the night to lull me into sleep. I hope you'll look forward to it as much as I will. Until next time, Cabalites. Have you seen the violet sign?